Hi, this is Alarus GILS, and my presentation is all about the Filipino indigenous religious practices featuring 5 tribes from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Luzon. Number 5. The Bontoc tribe. Bontoc comes from the word buntuk, which means mountains and refers to the people of mountain province. The Bontoc tribes were enemies who had refused conversion during the Spanish times. Bontoc tribe is a fierce warlike group of indigenous people who actively indulged in tribal wars with its neighbors until the 1930s. Every Bontoc male had to undergo a rite of passage into manhood, which may include head hunting, where the male has to journey and hunt for human head. The Bontoc also used the jaw of the hunted head as a handle for gongs, and as late as early 1990s. Evidence of this practice can be seen from one of the groups in Pakistan, Bontoc. The Bontoc traditionally covered their bodies with elaborate tattoos. For women, these were purely for decorative purposes, and they are still commonly seen today. Men had to earn their tattoos by killing enemies in their intertribal conflicts. Number 4. The Kankanaey tribe. The Kankanaey people are an indigenous people of the northern Philippines. They are part of the collective group of indigenous people known as the Igorot people. Recent DNA studies show that the Kankanaey, along with the Ayatal people of Taiwan, were most probably among the original ancestors of the Lapita people and modern Polynesians, whereas the Kankanaey are thought to have remained as an isolated relict population of Taiwan. The tayaw is a community dance that is usually done in weddings. It may also dance by people of Ebaloy but has a different style. Number 3. The Snag tribe. The Snag people, also referred to as the Sneg, are an Austronesian ethnic group native to Apayao province in the Philippines, Cordillera Administrative Region. In 1923, they were the last ethnic group to be conquered by the American colonies. Before, they had no collective name. Instead, they referred to themselves based on the residence or whether they lived upstream or Imandaya or downstream or Imalod. At present, they are commonly known as Isneg. They say Siam is the most important of all religious ceremony of Isneg. Number 2. The Ibaloy are an indigenous ethnic group found in Benguet province of the northern Philippines. The native language is Ibaloy, also known as Inibaloy or Nabaloy. Ibaloy is derived from a prefix signifying pertaining to, and badoy or house together, then meaning people who live in houses. The Ibaloy are one of those indigenous people collectively known as Igorot, who live in the Cordillera Central of Luzon. The Ibaloy believe in two kinds of spirits, anitos. The nature spirits are associated with calamities, while the ancestral ones, or the kaapuan. Number 1. Ifugaos, commonly known as Igorots in Filipino, are the people inhabiting Ifugao province. The term Ifugao is derived from Ipugo, which means earth people, mortals or humans, as distinguished from spirits and deities. It also means from the hill, as Pugo means hill. The non-Christian religion of Ifugao in general is polytheistic, and the worship is centered on the animal sacrifices or the angiwan. The Ifugaos are using two common names for their deity, which are Ma, Nongan, and Kabunyan, but this name meant differently to other Ifugaos. Visayas. Number 5. Suludnun tribe. The Suludnun, also known as Tumandok, Panay Bukidnon, or Panayanon Sulud, are a culturally indigenous Visayan group of people who reside in the Capiz Lambunao mountainous area and the antique Iloilo mountain area of Panay in the Visayan Islands of the Philippines. A proper ceremony is conducted for the principal spirit, Diwata. There are 16 annual ceremonies and a number of minor observances, most of which are conducted by the baylan, men or women appointed and whose sole functions are to communicate with the preeminent spirits during seances and interpret dreams and omens relative to the well-being of the communities. Number 4. Karaya people. The Karaya are an ethno-linguistic group who inhabited the islands of Panay and Palawan. The name of this group was derived from the word Iraya, which means upstream. Karaya people speak the Karaya language, also known as Kinaraya. The Panudlak is the pre-planting rite to appeal for rain, held on Good Friday, usually in April. Another panudlak may be held in August if the farmers observe 2 agricultural cycles in a year. Number 3. Eskaya, less commonly known as the Visayan Eskaya, is the collective name for the members of a cultural minority found in Bohol, Philippines, which is distinguished from its cultural heritage, particularly its literature, language, dress, and religious observances. Under the direction of Mariano Datahan, the group converted en masse to the nascent Philippine Independent Church in about 1902. Community members revere the entity Suno, which is conflated with the Santo Niño. And in addition to the weekly church services, they are served by appointed spiritual leaders known as Biki and Beri. Number 2. The Negritos. There are several human populations scattered throughout sea that are thought to be descendants of the first Sundaland people. They are collectively known as Negritos and are currently found in the Andaman Islands, Malay Peninsula, and several islands in the Philippines. The traditional religion of all Philippine Negritos is animism. Today, most of them remains animist, although some of their beliefs have been modified by Roman Catholic Christianity. One salient feature of Negrito religion is its noticeable lack of systematization. Number 1. The Waray are descendants of the Austronesian-speaking immigrants who came to the Philippines after Iron Age. The Waray are said to be some of the most religious people in the Philippines, but the paradox is that even though they were some of the first to be Christianized, their religious devotion is very evident in their celebrations like feasts honoring their patron saints. Fiestas are celebrated with prayer, food, drinking. Mindanao. The Manobo simply means people or person. Alternate names include Manuvu or Minuvu. The term may have originated from Mansuba, a combination of man or means people and Suba means river. Manobos are concentrated in Agusan, Bukidnon, Cotabato, Davao, Misamis, Oriental, and Surigao del Sur. The religious beliefs of the Manobo revolve around the concept that there are many unseen spirits who interfere in the lives of humans. They believe that these spirits can intrude on human activities to accomplish their desires. Number 4. The Banwaon is more likely to be thought as the relative to the Manobo tribe, derived from the word Banwa, which means village or country. The Banwaons are village settlers, so the Banwaon set their domain at the lowlands and upstream, the Maasam, Libang, and Adgawan rivers. The Banwaon people are of medium build with an average height of about 5 feet. Their tribes also exhibit a strong oral tradition. The Banwaons have stories depicting war and heroes passed on orally. Number 3. The Higaonon. It is derived from the words Higa means living, the word Goan which means mountains, and the word Onon meaning people. Altogether, these words form the description of the tribe as people of the living mountains. This tribe also named people of the wilderness. is one of the least known ethnic groups that inhabit the hinterlands of north-central Mindanao. One of the indigenous practices that the Higaonons have retained up to this day is their system of conflict resolution, locally called paghusay, meaning to settle, with its tribal council composed of a stream datu or the chieftain. Number 2. Mandaya. The term Mandaya comes from the word man, meaning first, and daya, meaning upstream. In combination, Mandaya means the first upstream people and refers to the indigenous group's language, traditions, customs, and beliefs. Mandaya also has an array of musical rendition instruments like kudlong, a two-string zither with only one string with frets deliver music with historical, eventful, and important meanings. Kudlong is played before hunting, staging the deadly pangayaw, or the vendetta killing or farming. It could also be a simple instrument or a ritual for their deities. Number 1. The Subanen. The Subanen people are known as the Aborigines of the island of Mindanao and are found mostly in the northern, western, and southern portions of the Zamboanga Peninsula. They were originally found along the river banks or Suba, but now reside in the mountains. Buklod is an elaborate Thanksgiving ritual system of the Subanen, an indigenous people in the southern Philippines. The head of a host family, usually a village chief called Timuay, who plans the ritual system to express gratitude to the spirits.
Therefore, I conclude that despite of many differences in traditions, beliefs, religious practices, and language that we are all Filipinos who wants to live in a life where we value our own faith and native beliefs. So we should love each other and respect our own differences. And that's all. I hope you learned something from this presentation. So, let's see you next time. Bye!